another edition of Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus, living in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people?
And today we got a special guest in here, the pride of Bolingbrook. Three state champions with the Bolingbrook Raiders, 4 national championships with UCONN, playing with the Seattle Storm right now with the WNBA. One of the all-time winningest female athletes in Chicago and Illinois history. Man, give it up for Morgan Tuck, man. What's up, Morgan? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. We all
Great.
we know it was going to be kind of hard to get you, because you are playing in the WNBA in the bubble. But your guy, Irvin Small, came through. Irvin said, man, I can get Morgan. I said, you sure? He said, man, that's my people's right there. So I said, all right, Irvin, get on it for me, man. But Morgan, it's a pleasure to have you on here. Heard a lot of great things about you, your upbringing and all that. Well, we always jump right into it by mentioning or talking about who put the basketball in your hand. What age did you actually start? And we'll move on to high school and college and then the pros. So how it started all off for you?
Well, it was my dad. He played at Ferris State in college, and so he was definitely like the one that got me and my sister, who also played in college, got us into basketball. We did a bunch of sports, and then basketball is the one that stuck. So like I started at 7, Taylor, my sister started at 8, and then from there it just kind of, it kind of grew and blossomed.
Wow. So pops get the credit. All right. That's all right. That's the same thing with me. My father taught me the game of basketball. Now, when you started learning the game, did you play against any of the boys growing up, or it was all girls?
Oh, well, it started all girls, and it was like our first team. It was from like 8 to 11-year-olds supposed to be. And so technically they didn't allow me to play because I was 7. And so like we had to meet with like the board, and like they had to see if I would be like ready and all this stuff. It was like a lot to ever play, but I got to. I was able to like play up. And then we played in an all boys league in Bolingbrook, and we had like 4 girls on our team. So we had 4 girls, and we ended up winning the league. So that's like,
Wow.
it was like our good start. We had the girls league, and then we went to the boys league, and then from then we went back to girls league. But it was a cool start for sure.
So when did you start thinking that, you know what, not only do I like playing this game, but I think this game can take me somewhere? When did that happen for you?
Honestly, I think it happened probably like my freshman year in high school. Because like I knew I was good, but like after my freshman year in high school and I won Miss Basketball, that's when it was like, okay, like maybe I am a little better than what I think I am. And then when you really start getting like the college letters and like the recruiting started, that was nuts. So I think once like my freshman year, that's when I realized like, okay, I can really like one day be a professional. Like that's when I kind of believed it for sure.
Man,
As a freshman?
Yeah.
Because I wanted it. Like when I was in like 4th grade, I loved Lisa Leslie. So like I knew from then like I want to be in WNBA. Like I want to play basketball, but I was like, am I really gonna be good enough to get there? I didn't know. But like after my freshman year, I was like, okay, I'm pretty good. I can get there, I think.
Wow. Just like we looked up to certain basketball players, male figures, you looked up to a female figure, Lisa Leslie. So I guess Lisa Leslie was one of your role models. I take it.
Yeah, she was for sure. And then it actually became, as I got a little older, Candace Parker. She's right there, right in Naperville. I was able to go to a bunch of her games and like got her autograph a bunch of times. And like, so when I got to see her path, like going to Tennessee and then playing for the Sparks, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. Like, I kind of wanted to be her, and I got to see her and like meet her. And, I didn't meet Lisa till I was about to get drafted. So Candace kind of took that role, I think, growing up for sure.
Yeah, and I watched both of them. Lisa Leslie, I watched her a lot play, and of course I watched Candace and you play. But watching you guys play, it seems like you guys have that edge, like, what, I know I'm the best. I know I'm at least one of the best out here on the court. So every time you step out there on the court, you guys show me something. Like Candace is getting up there in age and, with some injuries and whatnot. do you think it's time for her to, step away from the game, or as long as she continues to love, should she continue to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think it varies, just from person to person. I think there's some people that they want to literally play till they can't play. And then I think you have some where they want to play where like they leave, but they still feel good. They feel like they look good. They don't look like they need to retire. And to me, I don't think Candace looks like. I mean, I know she's had a bunch of the injuries and stuff, but like this year she looks really good. But at the same time, I think she's preparing because she does like the NBA on TNT, doing all that stuff a little bit more. So it's like setting up for when she does step away, like she has another career basically going already. So I think she's getting there. I don't think she's there yet, but it's getting close.
Now, we do want to talk about the money, different, from men to women, and I personally had said some things about it before in the past that women should be taken care of. Should they be paid like the men? I don't know, but I think you should be getting at least, $1 million to $2 million to play the game of basketball so you can have enough money to take care of your family.
Yeah.
Women have families too. And I think you guys just don't get a good rap as far as, I don't know if it's because you don't get enough support. I don't know if the WNBA and NBA is really together with this. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, first, I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people think that we should get paid like the men. You can't compare our pay to the NBA's pay. Theirs is like on a whole nother level, even from like men's league overseas, totally different money. So, but I think like this year we had like our CBA negotiation, new CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, and so most of us got a pretty good pay raise. Now depend on like if you're on a contract, coming off contract, all that stuff. And so that was nice. So we did get a pay raise, and like the max salary went from like 115, 119 to 215.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it went up to a pretty good jump. And so if you think about it, it's like for millions of dollars, it's not that much. But if you think our season is 4 or 5-ish months and we make that money in that amount of time, and as long as you manage your money, okay, like you're making good money. And then if you go overseas, that's when like the sky's the limit. It's a big range of money that you can make, and that's really where you can stack your money. That's how I've treated it when I go overseas. That's like, okay, let me make a bunch of money in a short amount of time, and then you come back WNBA, you're gonna play it, still make your money, so you can make a good living. You can still manage it. It's just, part of it's just, we're not gonna make millions and millions of dollars if we don't have the TV deals, when we have the revenue, and we have the right shares of the TV deals, and all that goes into it. So it's growing, and it's going to continue to increase. But I think we're far, far away from the millions. We're not there yet, but hopefully one day it will get there. Hope so.
Well, I hope so too, and I'm looking forward to you guys getting your just due. Not just on the court, but with that pay too. And I think it will happen. And Irvin Small have told me a lot about you and your family, your mom, how much, she supports her, her children, and watched y'all play. And Irvin worked you guys out a little bit, on and off throughout you guys' career coming up. What role do you think your parents have in your upbringing, not just on the court, but off the court? Because a lot of times people get so confused. Like my last name, Liberty, means something to me. So I got to make sure that I carry that legacy on. I don't want to, but some people don't understand the branding of what your name, supposed to carry on and off the court. So talk a little bit about that, because maybe we can just help some of our listeners who are listening to us today.
Yeah, I mean, my parents, they're the reason that I am who I am and the person that I am. They weren't like super strict parents or anything, but they were, they made sure that we stayed on, on track. What we were supposed to do, we did it. They instilled a lot of like, if you want something, you have to work hard for it. My dad would always tell me, like, if you just want to be average, okay, this is what you got to do. If you want to be great, this is what you got to do. It's a little different, so it was whatever you wanted, your dreams. They wanted us to dream big, but saying if you want to achieve, you have to work hard. And that's been our life. We work for what we get. And like you were saying, that care, it could be how you interact with people, how you are on the court, but then like I say the real world, when you get off the court, how you treat people, how people perceive you, all that stuff. My parents always tell me, like, perception is sometimes everything. You know, what people think about you and when they look at you and things like that, like it matters. And so that's just something that I've always tried to focus on is, you know, making sure that I'm doing things the right way, treating people the right way, because, you know, that can really get you far and get you to a lot of other places that you might not have been able to without it.
I agree.
Can I ask her something, Liv?
Go ahead.
When Morgan, you threw that out there your freshman year. You won Miss Basketball as a freshman. I just wanted to rewind back. You know, how did you manage the big head with that? Did y'all win state that year too?
Yeah, we did. We won state that year.
14 years old.
Yeah, it was, and honestly, it was very, like, to me, it was like super unexpected. And I have a lot of credit to my high school coach, Anthony Smith. He doesn't really allow you to get a big head. Like, he's
Okay.
like, I mean, obviously you have Gino, super hard coach. But Coach Smith was a hard coach. Like, he was tough, like so tough all the time. And he did a really good job of like kind of making me feel like I wasn't as good as I was, or like I worked way harder than everybody else to like be as good as I wanted to be. So even though I won it, like it was cool, it was fun, but it was like, all right, we're getting back in the gym, you know? So like I enjoyed it, but at the same time, no, my parents, coach definitely didn't let it get to my head, not even a little bit.
Wow.
That's a 14, 15-year-old kid live Miss Basketball.
But
state title. My head big, man.
But boy, I would want to hear some like feedback, good feedback from my coach if I'm getting that. And I guess he was like, you know what? Yeah, we just won state champions. Yeah, you just got Miss Basketball of Illinois, but we back in the gym and that's work. And I'll be looking at him like, man, coach, I just won Miss Basketball. What are you talking about? You know? And so I think that's what he was doing. That's the distraction. Like, let me get that off. You know, you got it. All right, let's get back to work. You know, and you like, no, I need to celebrate this. I need to, you know, let everybody know. So I think that is a good coach, a sign of a good coach that do those things, man, because sometimes kids can take that and they be like, you know what, I ain't got to work hard no more.
I was only 14. You know, he didn't like, oh, I made it and I'm 14 and then I just plateau and fall off, you know, later in high school. So I think it definitely worked. And I think I realized later on, like, he was super excited about it, just didn't let me see that at the time, you know? Like, he wanted to act like it was good job, but, like, you can still be better, you know? But it definitely paid off, so I'm glad he had that reaction.
She had to be one of the first freshmen to do that, though, man, right? Was you the first freshman to ever do that?
Yeah.
I can believe that.
So
I think so.
It was crazy, but it was fun. And it definitely made me want to work a little harder. Because right after that, then I found out I was invited to USA tryouts for the first U16 USA team. And so that was like a couple months later. So then it was like, okay, time to get ready for that.
Wow.
It's quick. It's like move on to the next thing and you're working for like the next goal.
And then speaking of the next goal, you got gold.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's when at the tryouts, I made the team for my ACL. So then I was out for that rest of that summer. And then luckily I was back by the time season started. But so that was just those couple months, it was like super hot and then it was like super low. And then I was, you know, out for the first time, first real injury. So
wow. We didn't even know that big fella, did we, man?
No, but let's stay on the high school right now, since we are on high school. Now, before you got to Bolingbrook, right? Were they winning? Were they a girls' winning program before you got there, or it all started to come in place when you got there?
No, they were good before. I don't know exactly how many championships. I know they at least had like one or two, I think. And they had some really good players. You know, when I was like in middle school and I'd go to practice and like the AAU team, we kind of stuck together. So we were like Illinois Dream Team, but it was basically our whole Bolingbrook High School team. And so I got to start playing with them. I was in like 7th grade and I was playing against high schoolers like on their summer team. So I kind of got to know them and they were good. Like Brittany Thomas, she went and played at Michigan State. There was like at least like 3 or 4 other major D1s. So we had some really good players. So that's actually what drew us to go to Bolingbrook, because originally we lived in Bolingbrook. We were in Plainfield. So my parents, we moved to Bolingbrook School District so that me and my sister were able to go for that reason, because we knew he was kind of known, like, if you go to Bolingbrook, you're gonna get a scholarship. So
Okay.
that's what
What playing field school? East?
I would have gone to East. Yeah, right when
You
it
would have been right here with us, Lil.
I would have gone to East.
We could have won.
Oh, I don't know.
Good. No, I don't think so. Wow.
Oh, wow.
So now your freshman year, you got the accolades. You won Mrs. Basketball. You won the state title. Now, how did you guys come back that second year? And did you win the state championship again your second year?
Yep. My second year, and honestly, it was kind of the same team. We always had like a really good. Those 3 championships, we had a really good core, and we were all together. We had Ariel Massingale that played at Tennessee. My sister played at University of Illinois. We had Mercedes Griffin. She ended up going to Marquette. Nikosi Henry. She went to Seton Hall. So like we had a really good players that were there for these like 2 kind of overlapping the 2 and 3 championships. Were like. We were super athletic. We were good. Like we were a really, really good team. And like at all times we had at least like 4 or 5 D1 on the team, at least. Like that was the minimum every year. So we were good. We were really good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Morgan Tuck joining us on All Ball Chicago, and she has won 3 state championships. The question I want to ask you, which one of those teams did you feel was your best team?
My junior year.
Your junior year.
That was, I think, the best all-around team that we had. My junior year. It was
and why was that?
It was just like when we played, it was like we played really, really hard, obviously, but like it didn't sound that, but like, I think a lot of times some teams were like scared to play us. Like we kind of had that like factor when we like walked in the gym, like teams knew like they're about to get, like that's kind of how it was. And like we loved that. Like it was. And then we practices were so terrible and so long and hard. It was like when it was game time, we were just ready to go. Like we didn't care who it was. Like in our conference, because our conference is not very good.
Wow.
They had to put a score cap. Like we could score 80 points in our conference games.
What?
It's like killing teams so bad. It's like 100 something to like 20, or like we beat them by like 20 points. So they put a scoring cap that year, and literally it was crazy. We were such a good team. It was just like everybody, all positions, our bench, everybody was really good. So that was probably like I think the most competitive team.
That's what I was just going to ask you. I'm like, you guys have scored 100 points, and I know Coach Smith probably took the 5 starters out, and you guys still was playing, top-notch basketball with your bench players coming in.
Because that's what it was like. Literally 1 through 12 or 15, however many on the team, it's like everyone could go, everybody could play, and it's like we were practicing with each other, and then most of the time we had like guys come practice against us. So like we really were having like high level elite practices, and then we go play a game against, girls our age. It was way easier, like for everybody. Right. So that part was good. It was just like a really fun year. It was, we had been together. It's our 3rd year for most of us together. So it was kind of like clicking. Everybody was feeling good. It was just a really good year, for sure.
That's sweet.
Okay. And how many games have you lost total in your high school career?
Total, probably I know we lost 4.
4 is the most.
4 my freshman year. And then after that, I think we might have lost like 2 or 3 more. So maybe like 7 or 8 games.
So probably 8 games.
Yeah, I'd say like 8, because we always went and we always play like national ranked teams every year. So yeah, I'd say probably like 7 or 8 in high school.
Wow. That's special. Now, I know when I played high school basketball, and I'm, CPS, Chicago Public School, and I'm just going to throw it out there. We look at the suburban, teams, and we play them, that it's going to be an easy win for us. Now, do you think the women think like that as well? Like when a Marshall or Whitney Young comes out and plays, a Bolingbrook or Plainfield East, whatever school out there in the suburb, you think they look at you guys differently? Like, oh, we about to put it on them.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's just, and it goes even from outside of basketball, just like the city versus suburbs thing. Mm-hmm. But I would say like for our team, because like Whitney Young was like our rival. Like that was the team that we knew like every time we played them, it was gonna be a really good game. We didn't know who's gonna win. Like we were really evenly matched. So I'd say I don't think they looked at us thinking that because they knew we were good because we played them good every year. But especially like someone like like the playing field, all that. Yeah, they know. It's like I don't worry about it. You know.
That's funny. That's funny. Now, now it's time for you to, go to college, and I'm pretty sure you were probably ranked top 15 in the country, if not the #1 player. You have all these universities coming, knocking at your door, coming to the game, seeing you play. What made you make that decision to go to UConn? Because you had a great program right in your backyard at DePaul University, and you decided to go to UConn. I know what I would say. Playing for Gene is special, but I'm gonna let you talk and let our listeners know.
Yeah, so I ended up committing the beginning of my junior year, so I committed kind of early. But I knew I wanted to go away from home just because I like to travel and see somewhere new, and I'm like, okay, it's a way to go live somewhere for free, basically. And so originally I wanted to go like to UCLA because I wanted to I've always wanted to live in Southern California. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna just pick where like I want to live. And then like as I got a little older, I'm like, all right, maybe I shouldn't go off basketball. I mean, school's important, but basketball was my biggest factor. I was like, my parents, my mom will worry about the acting. She'll make sure that part's right. And so I actually, like UConn came to some open gyms, came to saw me play, and then they invited me for an unofficial visit. And I went, and we went to Baylor versus UConn at UConn. And when I saw that arena, it was like sold out, like 16,000 people. Like it was, I've never seen a women's game like that. I was sold, like right then and there. I knew I was going to commit. And so before I left, I committed. Like it was, it was easy for me. Like I love the coaches. Because they're big on, like when you go a lot of recruiting visits, they try to like sell you on the school, right? Like they're trying to like wine and dine you and like give you all this extra. UConn didn't do that. They were like, this is what we have, this is who we are. Like they didn't put us in a hotel room. Like we stayed with the players, like where the players stay, like all the recruits and stuff like that. So they're really big on like kind of get that like real experience of like what it's going to be like. And so I like that. I appreciated that a lot. And then when I went to the game, it was sold. Like I was like, there's no place where I've seen women's basketball this big of a deal where people like care this much about it. And I want to win championships. So it was easy for me to choose for sure.
Yeah, and growing up watching basketball, I love basketball. Female guys, whatever, I'm going to watch basketball. And back in the day, all you used to see was UConn on television or Tennessee. Back in the day, that's all I used to see. I'm like, man, these girls be balling, right? So now it's time for you to step on the court. That first game, you have any jitters, like, man, I'm actually about to play in UConn in a UConn uniform, probably on national television. And so you got a lot of people watching you, a lot of people in the stands. How did that feel?
Yeah, you're just super nervous. Like, I don't know who we were playing, but it's like you just get so nervous, and like you start the game, and you're like doing stuff you probably have never done until you like get that first like TV timeout and like get a chance to like relax. But you're just like you're super excited, but you're really nervous. And yeah, like you said, like being on TV, like this is probably the most people that have ever watched you play a game, like ever, And I mean, you get used to it, but the first game, yeah, it was super nerve wracking, but it was really exciting.
60,000. Liv, how many people did you play in front of?
Who, me or Morgan?
You at Illinois. They had 60,000. How many did you play in front of?
16.
16,000. Okay.
They know college
like, damn.
1,000, man.
I'm finna say, dang.
I think the Carrier Dome was the biggest, to have, fans come in, but no, I don't think. So now you playing at UConn. UConn recruits All-Americans. Kind of similar to what Duke has on the men's side in Kentucky. You recruit all these All-Americans. How is it, like my mindset would say, man, it's a lot of All-Americans over here, am I going to play? And did he say it's open? Like when he recruited you, I don't have a 4 or a 3 spot, open, or I do have one open, and it's the best player going to win that spot.
So kind of. So like the way he does it is he gives that first opportunity is going to go to upperclassmen. Like, season, unless like someone gets hurt, then yes, like a freshman may start, or if they're just like way better, you know. But he gives the first opportunity to the upperclassmen, and then if you prove or you don't deserve it, then you get that chance as the underclassmen. So it's kind of like he treats it as like upperclassmen are the leaders, but you buy your time. You buy your time. You have to work hard and like earn your spot. Like he literally doesn't care if you're number one player in the country, like best, everyone do all this stuff. He doesn't care. Like, because everyone's like that at UConn. Everyone has played. Everyone has been at the top in high school, best on their team, everything. So it's like you just have to kind of work your way up, but it's good for when you get to that junior senior year. It's like because you bought your time and you've done it the right way and ran through the system. It's like it's easier, you know. Like he really trusts you, and it makes the experience a lot better, I'd say.
So Morgan, do you think that a lot of basketball players, just say highly ranked in high school, and then they think that can turn over into the college level, immediately? Like, okay, I was a McDonald All-American, I was a #1 high school player, so now when I'm in college, I'm still that player, and they don't understand that those guys or girls on the next level are faster, stronger, and you got to prove yourself on the college level. What do you think about that?
It's true. You know, I think any level that you go to, it's a learning curve. And, you know, you can still be really successful, but just because you were successful at one doesn't mean you will be at the next one. You know, like you still, you know, I guess you can't feel like that I've made it. You just have to keep working because everyone else is working. You know, some people, like they're really good early and then they kind of slide off as they get older. And some people, it takes them a while to get, you know, those accolades and you know, so they're a little bit older. So you just have to see it as like, you're going to have a learning curve. Don't come in where you think you're just going to be able to do the same things, but just keep working harder. If you keep working harder, then you'll get to that level, and then eventually you'll surpass it, and you'll be that bigger, faster, stronger player when new people are coming in.
Yeah, and I think your high school coach played a part of that also, like you said, letting you know that, hey, your head is not, don't let this stuff get to your head. And then your parents, you say your dad played, and so I think that helped you. A lot of people don't have that, the support like you had. Go ahead, Rob. I know you got something, because I can tell when Rob has something he want to ask
No,
you.
I was actually Miss Mama B wanted to say, that's my baby girl. I love you so much. Tanisha Boatwright, Ryan Boatwright mom.
It's so long.
Yeah, she was just like, tell her I love her. That's my baby girl. So I just wanted to give you a shout. And then Kevin Thornton from out here in Bolingbrook, his son Caleb just signed to play at Northern. What year did you come out of Bolingbrook?
2012.
2012. So you was there with Ben?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Y'all had a powerhouse. I always call Bolingbrook the suburban Simeon, but
Right.
I just had some sidebar stuff, Liv. Go ahead, man. You killing it, man. You killing it, baby.
So now, you have your parents, supported. I didn't have that. So I had to figure out a lot. My father didn't play, college basketball and all that. So I had to find different ways to stay motivated, one, and to push myself to know where I can take this. I didn't know at the time, and I didn't have that support system like that. I mean, I had people that cared about me and wanted the best for me, but I didn't have that. So now it's time for your second year. Wait, your first year. Did you start freshman year?
No,
So
started to my
okay, so you came off the bench, but you played. I remember you playing.
Yep.
And you guys ended up winning the national championship.
Yes.
So that's one. I'm just talking because this is so hard to do. People don't understand how hard it is to win championships.
Yeah.
I think UConn and a lot of other programs, Tennessee had a great program. I think they just know how to win championships, and they know what kind of players they looking for too to help them win. Because I don't think Gene just goes out and recruit anybody. I think he recruits people that he thinks they can fit into his system.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And about like just you as like a person, like your character, how you treat, like that's really big. Like that's something I think recruiting wise, I don't think you realize how important it is off the court stuff. That just plays such a big piece.
Wow. So now it's time for your second year. So now you got a year up under your belt. I know you approached the game just like you said you did it in high school. I'm like, oh, I'm excited. Second year. Now, there's an opportunity for you to probably start. And did you start? One, did you start? And how did your team do that second year?
Nope, I didn't start. So came off the bench, and then I actually had, so I had kind of like a nagging injury from my freshman year in my knee. So then I had like the scope, just trying to clean it up. So I was out for like a month at the beginning of the season, and then I played part of the season, and then I had to have like a major surgery, so I missed like the second half. But we won that year, so that technically was my red shirt. Played some, but enough where I could still like redshirt it. But that's the year we ended up going undefeated, and we won the second one. So that was a crazy year too. Like that was
undefeated. Live.
And who was on that team?
So you had Stephanie Dolson, who's in the WNBA now. She plays for Chicago. Bria Hartley, who plays for Phoenix. Brianna Stewart, Mariah Jefferson. Like that team was good.
Loaded.
So good. Yeah.
So you guys did not lose a game. Okay. And in your freshman year, did you lose any games?
Yeah, we lost 4. But
4 games.
Notre Dame. That's when we played. That's when we were in Big East, and we played Notre Dame that year, and we lost 3. So.
Wow. Yeah. So you got hurt. You may not get hurt, but you had some knee issues, and it carried on to the next season, and then you figured it out that, look, I need to get this checked out, and you had to go get surgery, major surgery. Now, I know me personally, I would have been down, like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play again. Right. So you got to have that, back to what I was talking about, that support system to help you get through that, whether that's, Gene, your coach, mom, dad, sister, family member, to keep you uplifted so you can keep going and playing the game that you love. A lot of people would have quit, said, we had the great Bo Ellis on, and he figured it out. He said, you know what? Not for me. I'm going to get my degree, and I'm going to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So how was that, about, tell us some of the stories, like you sitting out and not being able to play. Tell us some of those stories.
Yeah, so, total, I've had 6 knee surgeries. So I've been out a lot, and I've had to miss a lot, and I still have knee issues, but it's just how it is. But so I'd say just sitting out and watching it honestly gives you like way more appreciation for the game first, but then you get a different perspective. Like I think that's how I've learned the game a lot, is because you have to watch it. And I think when you're playing, you don't watch it as much, but when you just are sitting there watching practice or watching games and you can't do anything, I think you really learn the game a lot better. But I'd say like my mom has been like super instrumental. She's always there for any time I have surgery, anything, like she's always there. And she always gives me, when I get hurt, I go through the same thing. When I get hurt, I'm like, I don't know, maybe this is it. I'm not meant to play. Like my last knee surgery, I was really like, okay, I think this is it. Like I think I've reached my like breaking point with having injuries, but she always gives me like a week. She's like, have your pity party, feel bad for yourself. And then she's like, all right, that's it. Like you give yourself a time limit to feel bad and feel sorry, and and then that's it. Your pity party's over, time to get back to work. And that's kind of how I approach it. And that's all my mom. That's like her thing in life, is like, feel bad for yourself, but you got to get over it and you got to just move forward.
Wow.
It's real. That's real, Lip.
Awesome mom. That's an awesome mom you have. Definitely going to share this video out too. So hopefully, I don't know if your mom's on Facebook or not, but
you'll see it for sure.
They said most of the older people are on Facebook. Crowd is on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Right? So I know mom's probably listening, but now are we just gonna skip some of those because you won 4 national championships. 4 national championships. I wish you were at home so we could see the rings, but
oh yeah,
not at home. So I think that'll help some of our young females that want to play the game of basketball to shoot for goals. And did you have a goal? Did you set goals? Did you have a plan? Like I always talk to when I go to camps and it says, write a plan down, write your goals down, and try to achieve them. Don't don't set the big one, like the NBA. Everybody says, I want to make it to the NBA, but you're not doing the steps to get to the NBA. So did you have any goals growing up in Bolingbrook?
Yeah, the first goal, well, my first goal I had, it was a huge goal. It was just like to be the best. Like when I was young, that's what I wanted to do. And then as I like, when I got to high school, it was like, okay, I want to be all state. And then I wanted to be all American. And then I wanted to make the USA team. And then I wanted to go to college. And then in college, I wanted to be a starter. I wanted to be all American, and then I want to go to WNBA.
Wow.
So that's kind of how it's progressed. So it's always like I have like, and then you always have your team goals of like winning championships, but like the individual, I always try to pick it's like, like that equivalent to like an All-American or like All-Star, or, that type of thing. Because I mean, it's individual based, so it's
right.
You really have to work to get it. Like that's the best people. So I think those goals are always good because it makes you, it makes you really work for something. Like you have something to dream toward, which is always a good motivator.
Right. But Morgan, give us a little bit more details, because I really want to help some kids today. I think we got the right person today to really break it down to some of our listeners about how that workout looks.
Right.
How many hours, what it looks like, when you walk in the gym, you got, your trainer, if you had one, or if it was your dad, whoever it was, how many hours were you actually in that gym, and how many days, so our listeners can understand what it takes to be a McDonald All-American, that UConn, that Ford National Championship, player.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say for workout wise, I mean, I was usually in the gym every day. If I did take, it'd be like one day off maybe. But I really wanted to be good. And it was like, it started off, I worked with my dad, obviously. And then as I got older, I started working with Coach Smith in high school. And then I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got tired of working with Coach Smith because I'd see him in practice too. So I was like, I need a break. So I started working with, his name is Nicholas One Show, and he's still a trainer in the Chicago area.
I know Nick.
Yeah, Nick. I worked with
Nick
throughout high school.
with the crooked jump shot.
So
Nick got a burner. Sorry, go ahead.
But I worked with him throughout most of high school, and honestly, it might have been an hour. It could have been 2 hours, just because we would just be in there and we would just work. Like that's what we did. It was like every day we just went, or it'd be like sometimes you had to switch practice with the guys, so it might be an earlier practice or later. We went around practice time. If we didn't have practice, we just go get in the gym. And I think the biggest thing for like younger kids too, it's like you want your quality to be good in the gym. Like, yeah, you could be in the gym. Oh, I'm in the gym for 3 hours, but like, what are you doing for those 3 hours? Or you could be in the gym for an hour and get a really good workout and real work and be focused and get more out of it. Well, I think that's because it's not like now where practices hour and a half. You maybe go live, like we have more time. In high school you have school all day. You have to do homework. You have a lot of other stuff. So you just have to figure out like what workouts work for you and to just be effective in your time. That's the biggest thing, is to get like a good hour workout instead of maybe just in there sitting around chilling, not really doing anything. I think that's the biggest thing I'd say.
Wow. Man. Now, I do want to ask the question about your college coach, because he is a male, and I would say most females probably want to go play for a female coach. I'm just saying, I'm thinking that. I don't know. I could be wrong. But when you made that decision to go play for a man coach and you're a female, do you get intimidated? Because, some people think that he's a man, he's going to be screaming, he's going to be yelling, and he's going to be doing this and that. And I don't know if I can handle it. So, talk a little bit about that,
For me, honestly, I didn't even think about the fact that they're male or female. Mainly, I think because I've had majority male coaches my whole life. Like I've had a couple female coaches, like here or there, but like my high school coach male, and that's like him and Coach Gino. They both like, instead of treating you like a woman, they treat you as a basketball player. Like they're not gonna talk to you different because you're a girl or a boy. It's just you're a basketball player. So like there's no like taking it easy or, oh, let me not yell or scream. Like, no, they're going to just say what they need to say, and it doesn't matter. But I think that's a good thing because first, I'd say it makes you mentally stronger. Like they're, you know, especially like Coach Gino, he'll yell and scream, but he's really like tries to mess with your mental. Like he knows each player like really well and like what pushes their buttons. So he'll try to say something. You're like, dang, like that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, you know. He kind of yells it, but he does it to like he wants to make you mad. He wants to make you upset, and like, but you have to handle it. And I think that's good for life. You know, like if you go get a regular job when you're not playing, choose who your boss is, or you know, it's just I say it's just character building, and it just builds up your mental strength. And I think that's something, at least from what I've seen from, because I'm a part of a sorority also, so I see like the sorority side of people that never really played sports, and then I see my sports friends. There's a difference. I think sports, it mentally makes you so strong, and it makes you can handle so many more situations. And it might suck in the moment getting yelled and screamed at, but it helps build you up, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, what sorority you in?
Alpha Kappa Alpha.
AKA.
Yes. Yes. My mom, there's no other one, so that was my choice.
Did you hear that jab, Liv? She just did. Hey, let me ask her a question real quick, big dog. I know while you're in college, is there anybody else that you know of, other than maybe your teammates or something, but out of the state of Illinois that got 4 national championships?
No. Only my 2 in my class at UCONN. We're the only ones I've done it, male or female.
That's right. Illinois, man, we got work over here. That's right.
So Morgan, you basically need a street named after you out there.
Yeah. Yeah. But the man just stepped down out here in Bolingbrook. He would have did it for her, man.
Right. We got to do a petition and say that avenue that's going right into Bolingbrook High School need to be called Morgan Tuck Avenue.
Yep, right there. Lily Cash. Change Lily Cash to Morgan Tuck. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That'll be hot.
So now, Morgan, it's time for you to get to the big leagues. You know, now it's time for you to put your name in the WNBA draft. Family and everybody's going. Now, where do they held that one in? Is it in New York as well, the WNBA?
So my year, it was in Connecticut. They kind of switch it around. Now they've been having it in New York, but before it just kind of depended. And a lot of times they had it in Connecticut too, because like the fans in Connecticut are always there. Like there's always a lot of support, so it makes for a good environment.
Yeah. So now it's time for you to do that. Did you have any inkling where you were going to go as far as, you know, being selected in the draft?
I mean, as it got closer, yeah. Like my agent, I knew like I was going to Connecticut before I got announced. Like they told me, you know, because you talked to like the coach and everything, so it wasn't a surprise. Like I knew it. And so that part made it kind of good too. And it's like when you're at the draft table, like the camera goes to who's about to get picked next, you know. So, but like we can always tell, like at least early on. As it gets farther, no, you have no idea. But
what was your pick?
3rd.
That's nasty.
This girl's doing it, man. Doing it. You know. So who was the number 1 pick? Do you remember who was the number 1 pick?
Yeah, so it was Brianna Stewart was number 1, and then Mariah Johnson was number 2. So that was our class at UConn. All 3 of us came in together, and we went out 3 in the draft. So that was like super cool.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
So when y'all get by yourself, y'all be talking trash like.
No, but we could for sure.
Yeah. That's what's up.
I mean, you girls were like everything really college basketball in that era. I know a lot of other teams probably got a little jealous, envy of you girls, and man, they went back to back in the draft. They won 4, national championships. You know, you're rubbing it in their face, but you're really not. You know, it's like I'm not picking them; they the one picking us. You know.
I can't be mad at it. I get it.
Right.
I feel that way too.
I would have loved to be at that draft party.
I know, right? And right at UConn. I mean, it's right in Connecticut. So you went to college there. The draft is there. So it's like all your family and friends and all alumni. They right there supporting you guys. Man, that was awesome.
It was so cool. Like it really was.
Yeah. So now it's time for you to play. You get selected by your home. I mean, not your home team, but your school team, Connecticut Suns, right?
Yep.
So you get selected by them, and what did you do with that paycheck when you got that check? What did you do when you did you go buy a house, a car? What did you do with it?
Well, that paycheck isn't enough to buy a house or a car. Your contract, that contract, you're like from college, yeah, you're excited. You never had any money, but for like what you make when you get off your rookie deal, your rookie contract, you're not making that much. But I mean, I probably went and bought some like shoes, some clothes. That's because like and it's weird because like when you get drafted, you don't get paid until like we got drafted in like first week of April, and then training camp starts the end of April. But like you don't get any money during that time, so you're still a broke college student. And then once you're out of training camp, which is like you get per diem, which is like $500 a week.
That's great.
And then once season started middle of May, and you get your first paycheck 2 weeks in, so you're broke until June. So that's why it's like I'm still asking mom and dad for money after I'm drafted. That's how it works.
That's crazy.
Like, there's no signing bonus, or it's not like the guys like we're broke until like June.
But you just said even when you did get paid, it wasn't enough for you to really, support yourself really on your own. I mean,
the one good thing in WNBA, so you can choose, but they provide housing and they can provide a car. I mean, I had a car from college, so I didn't need that. But like your apartment is 100% they pay for it. Now, if you want like a 2-bedroom, you have to pay whatever. But so they do provide that because most people don't live where they play since you only do the summertime. So it's really like it's helpful, at least at the beginning, because you're not making that much money, so you can save a little more because you don't have those like typical expenses. But no, it's not enough to go like buy something crazy. No, not even close.
so it's almost like what you just mentioned earlier on the show about you looking forward to playing overseas because that's where you make your money at.
Yes, exactly. Especially your first year. That's really when you're like ready to go overseas. You need a good amount of money real quick.
So basically, the WNBA is just to keep you in shape, for you to go overseas to make your big money.
Right, and it helps you make more money overseas if you're in the WNBA because people know like, if you're in WNBA, you have to be really good. So that helps with your contracts overseas for sure.
But Morgan, let me ask you a question though. What about the females that didn't make it to the W, but still just as talented? Do they get that same opportunity? Because you just mentioned that, the WNBA kind of put that stamp on us. But what about the girls that don't have that stamp? Harder for them?
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, WNBA there's only 144 spots, and not many people retire, so the turnover is really low. So like at most teams, there's maybe 1, maybe 2 spots open every year. So even it's hard. Like usually the first round picks, so that's 12 people, will make the roster. But anything after that, it's really hard. And then you have people that are undrafted. So there's so many girls out there and like women that are so good and that should be in WNBA, but there's not enough spots. Like there's really just not enough roster spots for people to be there. So for those people, it is super hard. It's like they kind of have to use their their first overseas season as like the trial run to show what they can do to get those bigger contracts. But it's a lot harder because a lot of teams, especially Americans, they look at if you're in the WNBA, and that really helps your money go up. But yeah, that's what it needs to expand because there's just so many people, but there's nowhere to put people.
What do you think about if they start something like the G League? Like the G.
That would be great. I think, especially like our season now, like we've had a lot of injuries because we're playing so quick, and like having to bring people and add people to rosters and different things, and like people opted out, so it opened up more space. It would be perfect if you had people like right there, ready to go. But I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Right.
Anytime in the near future, I don't know. But they should for sure. At least to give people, while they're not overseas, they have somewhere else to play, and it's still a high level. So hopefully one day, I hope so.
Yeah. Hey, let me dig this out of there real quick. I just called something. She said injuries about you guys playing so quick. You think coming back and being not forced, but going that bubble and play night in and night out, is it a healthy thing?
I think it's just harder on the body because like our team, like right now I'm out because I had like a bad fall. I have some bone bruises, so I'm out for a few weeks. But like our team just finished a stretch of 10 games every other day. Right. And like that's a lot. Like you're not traveling, but like that's a lot on your body. And then, we played super late games. Like they start at like 10, so you're not sleeping as much. And, it's a lot going on. So I think it's good in a sense that we're still able to have a season because, especially coming off our like off season, we had like a lot of momentum. Like the league was growing, getting more attention. But at the same time, we were at home doing home workouts for some months, and then you come here and like hit the ground running. So I think it's, for that part, it's definitely a lot harder on the body. We're seeing way more injuries though too because of that.
Same with the NBA too, man. They talking about LeBron them. They've been off all that time. They should be ready to go back in there. Basketball, you need that time on the floor because you can't simulate it in the open gym. That's real.
Yeah. All right, before we let you go, we go like have some fun now. What is Morgan talk before the game? What you listening to? What you be listening to in your headset?
Well, I am a huge Beyonce fan. I love like all Beyonce. So out with Black is King, like now I'm like back listening to like the Lion King album. So that's what I listen to before every game. That's just like my go-to.
Man, Bob told me you be listening to the drill music.
Chief Keef Lib.
Oh, that's not me.
What about your pregame meal? What you eating? Pizza? What you eating?
Oh, no. I'm always like salmon, like mixed vegetables, like rice, quinoa, avocado. Like I eat pretty healthy because as you get out of college, get a little older, you can put some pounds on real easy if you know. So.
That's real.
Just lastly, we always have our guests share some advice to some young female, young male who wants to get involved in playing basketball. What kind of advice would you, give them?
I would say the biggest thing, just try it. I think now, I get it's hard with COVID and everything, but I would say just to try. And when you do try, to like really put your all into it. Because, when I think back when I was young and I just like playing basketball and I think about all the work I put in, and it's like, it's hard during the time, but like it's paid off. Like it's my job. Like I literally get paid and I got to travel all over the world and meet all types of people literally for playing basketball. And because I worked hard when I was younger. So I would tell people just work hard. Like you have to know, like there's always someone else that's working harder. So you have to make sure that you're staying on top of your game. And you take care of your grades, so that you can, once you get older, you can really, really live off the fruits of your labor. Because that's what I'm doing. And, like I have a degree, but I don't use my degree. I literally just play basketball and that's my job. And so you can have a great, great life doing something that you love if you work hard when you're young.
Wow.
That's real, Morgan.
We have Morgan. Again, we have Morgan Tuck on Hallball Chicago. But before we let her go, I want to ask her one more thing. Who is the best WNBA player? Who is that LeBron James of the WNBA?
Maya Moore not in there right now.
That's who I would pick. That's who I would pick. Maya, to me, it's unreal what you can do. So I would say Maya for that. But I honestly, and I might be a little biased, I'd pick Breanna Stewart, my teammate.
That's what I was going to say. I would say her. But,
on another level, like consistently every night, it's to me, it's amazing to see what she can do and how she does it every single night. Like, because right now we're the best team in the league and she's the best player on our team. So to me, that says it right there.
Now, how tall is she?
6'4".
6'4".
Dang. So long.
Yeah. What about Dayla Dawn? Is she pretty good?
She's really, so she opted out this year, but yes, she's super good. Like she and it's crazy. Like she even, she went and played volleyball in college before she came to the league. Like she's probably, I'd say, like definitely one of the most skilled women playing anywhere. And she's like 6'4" too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big supporter of women basketball. I love watching it. So every time you guys come on, I'm watching. So and I want to wish you a great season. Hopefully you get healthy and get back on the court soon, so you can do your thing out there and go try to get another championship to your room, to your mom's home. Another trophy, for your mom. So we really appreciate you being on the show today. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
You got
Thanks,
anything?
Morgan. Thanks. Bolingbrook for life, baby. Right?
Yep.
That's right.
You got to get
Thanks,
that
man.
streak.
Nice
You
meeting
got to
you.
get that streak name.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
you need to get the basketball gym or the court named after you.
Right.
That would be cool.
We're going to change Lily Cash to Morgan Tuck Lane right there running along Bolingbrook, man. So proud to meet you, man. So when I see everybody in Bolingbrook later at the park barbecue, we're going to be out there and be like, y'all know her, but y'all ain't talked to her recently. I just hollered at her.
Yep. Exactly.
And Morgan, I think you better give a shout out to some people before you go too.
I have to shout out my parents, my mom, Lydia, my dad, David, my sister, Taylor, even though she's probably not going to see it. She's not on Facebook that much. And I also say shout out to my coach, Anthony Smith. Wouldn't have made it this far without him. He's like been super huge. Nick Winchell, my trainer, wouldn't have made it without him. And just all my Bolingbrook. I miss everybody in Bolingbrook. I don't live there anymore, so I have to come back and see everybody.
We love you, man. We love you here, man.
Thank
you. You better shout out Irvin's mom before he call you.
Yes, I thank you for reaching out to my mom. He set this up. He made it happen, so I have to give him all the credit.
That's right. All right.
That's what's up.
All right. Thank you again for having an apple.
Morgan Tuck on All Ball Chicago, baby. Take care, Morgan. Get healthy, babe.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
God bless you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, man. Morgan Tuck.
Man, she put up numbers.
You know, you don't get, like, I know we had Lene Harper, we had Lacey Hill, we had Dorothy Gators. We need more females to come on our show and share some light on basketball, but just in general life too, you know, because we have some females that's out not doing the right things as well, just as much as the guys are out doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So I would love to have more females come on All Ball Chicago and talk about what it looks like to be a female, what it looks like to carry yourself out there in this world that we live in. So feel free to inbox me or Bob if you want to come on All Ball Chicago and share your upbringings, your life. You have the mic. We just here, join it, and want to hear some of the stories.
Cause I got stopped. I was like at a loss of words. I was just like, I could not believe she was winning so much, dude.
Yeah.
Like I've never talked to anybody that had won that much. 3 state championships, 4 national titles. I don't know anybody that's done that, big dog.
But think about this though, Bob. Like when you win 3 state championships, you know what it takes now to be a winner. You know what it looks like. You know how to compete. You know how to go about your routine and doing that. You know, if you never won, you don't know what it looks like or how it feels, you know. And and I think she had a taste of it early on in high school. So and then when she goes to UCONN, it's a whole nother level, you know, and I think she did just that, man. So
like she said, that doggone arena stayed packed, bro.
Yeah, I know you got to go watch some games, you know.
Oh yeah, man. But as always, you know, I gotta mention my device, man. I want to give a shout out to your teammate, Tracy Dildy, for endorsing the product. Tracy Dildy say, man, hey, he like it. He said, man, so many coaches have had throat surgery. I didn't even know that. Did you know coaches had throat surgery after they finished retiring and stuff?
Well, man, you're doing a lot of screaming, man, through your vocal cord, man, and I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, man. So he was like, dude, I endorse it 100%. So, you know, get the coaching device, man, and live supported 100%, man. We just doing this for guys who use their voice for whatever you do, man, as a professional, man, to amplify your voice. Once again, the culture, man, the world's first social distance device. And I want to give out to my shout out to my King brothers, man, for stepping up big time and supporting me with this, man. Marcus Liberty and Tracy Dilton, man.
No doubt.
And my bros, Emmett Lynch, man. Hey, man, you a funny dude, boy. Emmett had me laughing so hard last night, man. Shout out to Emmett Lynch. I can't wait to chop it up with that boy, man.
Wow.
The Lynch mob. But other than that, big bro, it's over with, man.
Again, man, we'd like to thank Morgan Tuck for joining us on All Ball Chicago. Another great one. Appreciate her coming on.
Who we got Tuesday?
She didn't have to. She didn't have to come on today, man. She's in that. like we said, she's in the bubble, still trying to, win her championship. So she didn't have to do that, and we really appreciate that, and also appreciate my man Irvin Small for reaching out to her and getting her to come on and joining
Much
us.
love, E Small.
Yeah, Tuesday. The person you mentioned him during the show. Ryan Boatwright will be joining us Tuesday at 3:00 Eastern time, 2:00 Chicago time.
Ryan Boatwright, national championship with UConn.
Also went to UConn.
Back to back.
Electrifying.
Yes, indeed, man. All Ball Chicago Bleed Podcast Network. Make sure y'all go over there, subscribe to our Facebook page. We need y'all, man. Subscribe to the Facebook page. And Bleed Podcast, shoot over there and download all the shows. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus Liberty. What you finna be on, big dog?
I'm going to give you a finger roll. Finger roll Sunday.
That look like a dangerous roll, though.
Yeah, I call it, but it's Liberty Sweet Roll. It's a Liberty Sweet Roll.
You gotta be careful. Somebody copyright steal it. You go to the store like, hey, that's my likeness. What the
Oh man, there's people out there that do that, but you know what? It is what it is, man.
All Ball Chicago, man. I'm loving it, man. Next week. All right, big fella. Have a good enjoy the day, man.
All right.
Peace.
All right.